So thank you for coming back and watching another video. And if this is the first time, great. I've got other videos on the channel that you can check out. And it's all helpful tips that I like to provide other people, not only the things that have helped me, but I know and people around me it's helped. And today's topic is time management. This is one topic that challenges everybody. It still challenges me. It takes daily intentional action to stay focused on your calendar. And what you're going to find out through this conversation that I'm having with you today are just tips and strategies to take to conquer your day. And you got to be habitual about it. You got to try to do something every day. And the things that I'm going to share with you are things that have helped me. But just like in everything I do in coaching, it's got to work for you. Just because something works well for me or 10 other people doesn't necessarily it means that it works for you. But the one thing that's consistent, if you want to get a hold of your day and you want to maximize the time that you have in the day, you have to be intentional about it. If you get up and you just wing it for the day, you're going to accomplish less than somebody who has their day focused, and things are going to slip through and your results are going to reflect based on you being disorganized and how you run your day. So without further ado, so I don't waste any more of your time, let's get right into the presentation. Let me share my screen. And here we go. All right, time management. So as you can see, there's a bucket of clocks right here. And I wish that we had more opportunities and more time in the day, but we don't. And as we grow in our business and as our career, there are a lot of things that are pulling at your day. And there's a great book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. And in that, it talks about the whirlwind. What are the things that constantly come up that get you distracted off your goal? This is where time management is so critical, because the better structured your time is for the day, the more flexible you can be. What do I mean by that? So if you know where you have things planned, if you have to move them, it's easier to know where you can move them to. So that way you can continue to accomplish that. So I'm in real estate, I'm in coaching. And specifically as it pertains to real estate is my day has to be flexible, but I also need structure because there's things that have to get done. But I'm also looking to be flexible and be available when people need me to go see a home. So I have to flex my calendar and my time most often to the people that I'm working with. So just keep that into context. But more importantly, it doesn't matter. When I was in corporate world, I focused on time management because I want to make sure that I have everything in the buckets that it needs to be. So that way I can accomplish more. Prioritizing. I don't know if you do this on a regular basis. I've done it long enough in my own mind and on paper that I now have a good idea of what it needs to be. So what I'm going to show you are buckets that I put them in. So if you're looking at your day and you want to just look, I don't want to get granular, Jeff. I don't want to get really micro in managing my day. This is where I like to live because it gives me flexibility to move. And this is similar to the goal setting that we talked about, is you have to know what you need to do to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So the first thing is I always look at my day. What are my must-dos? And some of those must-dos are honeydews. They're things that my wife and I work together on, whether it's driving kids to practice, whether it's something specific that's house-oriented. Those are things that be like must-do. Or if I have a closing, I need to be there. There's times that I can be flexible, but I look at a lot of these things as must-dos. They cannot move from that particular day. They have to be done in that day. The next thing is need to do. These are things that I categorize as like, I really need to do it, but if I can't get it done today, it's not going to be detrimental to the overall success of my day. So these are important, but they're not super important. Make sense so far? Then want to do. Then I've got things that I want to do during the day that aren't necessarily need to do, but I see them as something important that I want to do. So then that way, if I have to move things around, because sometimes a must do is going to pop in my day, which is going to push everything down. So by this, I know the want to do it can move to the end of the week. It can move to next week. I want to do it, but it's not anything that I must or need to do today. And the last is it can wait. We feel, you know what? Let me rewind that. I don't know what you do, but I tend to fill my day with a lot of the it can wait stuff because it usually is easier. I can get it off my checklist faster, but it seriously can wait. So look at it. If it doesn't meet the criteria of must, need, or want, then it's probably it can wait. And so put that in a stack. This also works as if you're trying to organize your desk, organize your office. I do these things that I must pay attention to, I need to pay attention to, I want to pay attention to. It can wait. So all these things work well together as well. So that's prioritizing. So next is time blocking. So this is a cool skill that it depends on where you're at and what you're doing based on your life. Is time blocking is you divide your day into specific blocks of time. This is really good in the event that you have bigger things that you need to get done or prioritize. So I tend to look at this at a bigger scale than at a smaller scale. So, excuse me, if I have goals for the day, I want to spend family time. That's a block. Professional time. That's a block. Fitness. That's a block. Hobbies, fun. So look at things in blocks versus specifics. And then you know what you want to accomplish during the day and when do you have it. If you look at the daily schedule that the world has pushed on us, a lot of it's time blocking. You have your morning. So that's your time, whatever that looks like. Then you have your day. You have your 8 to 5 day that we have been just drilled into our brain. That's the time that you work. And then you have usually family time in the evening or personal fun time. As we've become and modified our working schedules, because more people are working from home, more people are in that entrepreneur space, more people are in a flexible work day, it's important to time block. Because for me, is if I don't get things done when I need to get them done, that weighs on me and it creates anxiety that then bleeds into the next part of my day if I don't have things in proper blocks. So what time blocking does is just like what I was just sharing. It helps you manage two valuable resources, time and focus. If you're not focused, you're not giving everything that you can to that specific task. And then also time. You need to know what time that you've allotted to do certain things and create boundaries for yourself. This is what I like about time blocking, is it creates healthy boundaries. It helps you establish a flow. It minimizes distractions, helps maintain control of your day. That's a critical, important one. I know I keep using the word critical. For me, that just raises the emphasis in my own mind, is I want to be in control of my day, even though I know that's not always the case, but I'm at least in control of my schedule and how I need to move that and how I need to be flexible. So the next tool or strategy that you can take to time management is time stacking. So if you're not familiar with time stacking, what it allows you to do is to do things when you're doing other things. I know we just talked about focus. So I like to look at time stacking when you're in the car. So is it a time where you need peace and meditation? Like you don't have 20 minutes in the morning because it's chaos to spend in time and thought and just trying to reflect on your day. What do you need to do? What do you need to accomplish? If you're in the car and your commute, it's a great time to do that. I use my time in the car, rarely for music, but more for podcasts or books on tape. Books on tape. Nobody even knows what tape says. Audiobooks. So Audible, because that allows me to maximize my time, because then when I'm at home, I want to read, I want to listen to podcasts, but I want to focus on my family. I may have work stuff to do when I'm sitting at a computer doing something like this. So time stacking is looking at your day and figuring out what can I do at the same time that I'm doing something else. and not distract me. So I was watching a great show last night. It was talking about cooking and how farmers used to cook and why so many do slow cooked meals, stews, those type things. Well, one is usually the cut of meat needs that long cook time. But the other part that I didn't think about is farmers or field workers used to do that because they could start it in the morning, get everything going, then they go about their day, they work, and then they come back and the food's ready. So they're not having to spend an extra 3 or 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours cooking after a hard day's work. They come home and everything's ready. That's a prime example of time stacking. Tools to assist you. So this is another thing that I like to do mainly is I want to think about what resources do I have that will help me accomplish my goal of being a good time manager. So one, calendars, paper or electronic. I use both. I use the electronic to record things quickly, and then I sit down on Sundays, or if I see my calendar start to flex and fluctuate, is I sit down and then I transfer everything to paper. So I have my week at a glance. However you need to do it, whatever works best for you, do that. But you need to have something with all of your information that works. I was speaking to someone just this week about, he pulled up his calendar on his phone and it was just full of all this stuff. And he's like, that gives me an anxiety attack. And I go, me too. So then that's when we went back to prioritizing to figure out, okay, what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. And then let's transfer the must-dos to something else. Maybe it's setting alarms. I have alarms throughout the day that you can label. So I know specifically on the iPhone, you can label the alarm. So if I need to do something by a certain time, I may set an actual phone alarm that will go off. There's also apps, reminders, to-dos. Those have ways that you can schedule alerts. Sometimes though, if you've got so many notifications on your phone, they might fall behind another notification and you may miss it. That's when I usually, if it's a critical thing to do, I'll put the alarm in there. Accountability partner. This is important. And this is something that my wife and I do. I've got business partners that we do things like this. And then also in my coaching, I play the role of an accountability partner. If there are actions and tasks that need to be done within a week, then I'm going to hold someone to that to make sure that they follow up. And because anytime you tell someone that you need to have something done by, and they're organized and mindful enough to hold you to those and to remind you of those and hold you accountable to those, you typically will do them because in the back of your mind, you know you want to get it done before they have to remind you to get it done. That's me. Whiteboards. I literally could go on and on about the different things that you can use to assist you, but those are all things that I tend to use. This is fun and painful at the same time. Where does all my time go? So this is when you need to really look and complete a daily audit of your time. So just like if you've lost weight or you wanted to focus on losing weight, one of the first things that a trainer will have you do or a nutritionist will have you do is to create a daily log of what you eat. There's great MyFitnessPal. There's all these different apps that will help you track your food on a daily basis so you can see where you're making mistakes and where you can fix your diet. Same thing happens with time. So there's one thing that I could even send you. It's called the 15-minute manager or the 15-minute day. And you break your day down in 15 minutes. To me, that can get a little overwhelming and very micro if you look at 15 minutes. But I got to say is if you're having a real challenging time to get everything done during the day, it may be worth doing. And the challenge is can you even keep track of doing it all day? I look at things in either 30-minute or hour blocks. My mind works better in bigger blocks because I typically don't do that many small tasks that require 15 minutes. And to be very transparent is even if I block something off for 30 minutes and I know it's only going to take me 2 minutes, that's great. That's my buffer to either relax, do something else, or be able to move that and be flexible throughout the day. But it's important to do a daily audit of your time. I've talked to many, many people, and they're busy. They're very busy within their day. And when we talk about, like, I just couldn't get it done, if they were to sit down and really look at their day, there's plenty of time throughout the day that you can make to get some of these must-do tasks done, so things aren't slipping off your calendar. It's so important just to be reliable. People need to know that you're reliable, that if you have a task that you have said that you're going to do or that you need to do, that you do it. The bank is great at making sure that everybody's on time for making payments. So if not, there's a penalty. So start to think of, just like in the goal setting workshop I talked about, is when you have a goal, set something that you want to celebrate. Like, how do you want to celebrate if you meet that goal? With this is, if you're not getting tasks done, what requirement are you going to make of yourself as a punishment? You need to have a repercussion. If it's not just late fees for paying a bill, what are some things to do to hold you more accountable to fixing things in the day? And maybe that's just an accountability partner that if you don't get things done, you take them out to dinner. I don't know. But just think of some of those things to do, because you need to have something to hold you accountable for. And that's where the audit may be just staring at yourself in the face and going, holy smokes, I lose a lot of time. So if you liked this and you want to find out more about the coaching programs that I offer, please text me at 407-204-9978. I'd love to talk to you. We can talk more about this. We can brainstorm about your day, and we can just see how we can make you more efficient and more effective in your time management. I'm Jeff Forster, and I'm here to help. And so, like I said, reach out, 407-204-9978, or leave comments below. Have a great day.